My favorite part of the work trip was probably watching how these older kids work and how I got to go experience how they were working and how I got to go join in the fun they were doing.
Something that's been really great about this trip in my life was just being able to spend a lot of really good quality time with some of the guys, being able to have a lot of conversations and a lot of more than just like hanging out in a bigger group and being able to actually like hang out together and being able to talk about certain things and just growing a lot closer together in Christ and in our own personal relationships.
Yeah, favorite part of the trip overall? So far I would have to say going to the hot tub on the top floor and watching the sunrise. That was pretty fun, pretty cool.
My favorite part was probably the hot tub on the top of the elevator.
Best part of the trip?
It was probably putting up the swings.
Why'd you like putting up the swings?
It was fun.
What was the best part of this trip?
And that's the hard one for me to come up with because there's so many. It was impressive, out of my comfort zone to go to a hospital and to pray, but most important, needed to be done. And so that was a God experience for me.
My favorite part of the trip was when we all went to the beach. We went fishing, swimming, we played football, a couple other different games while we were on the beach, and then we went in the hot tub and then the sauna afterwards. That was pretty fun. A couple of hours there.
I carried a lot of bricks. I didn't like to put them down because, fingers. And,
How come you turned around while you're doing your interview?
Because I was looking at the papers.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. That's what I did most of the.
Okay, so my favorite project we've worked on so far, that was probably putting the beams up in the pergola. The 2x6s, that was a pretty fun job.
The best part of the trip for me has been that my whole family could be here.
Least favorite part of the trip, there hasn't really been too much least favorite, probably just the ride down. That was pretty long.
The worst part about the trip was probably the super hot day.
All right, the worst part was the drive.
And if only you had Amy, in your
Right.
van.
I'm not a beast like Amy.
Probably assembling the swings because that took a long time because we're not very good at assembling.
Least favorite project, let's see, probably just carrying those pavers back and forth. That got pretty painful. After a few hours of that, your back starts to cramp and hurt. Just going Dion. Anything with Dion is really fun. So.
Okay, what was your worst part of this trip?
Worst part of the trip? Oh, that's easy. That was the van ride down and staying in a very small room with 5 other guys, including Luke Dobra.
Worst part of the trip was probably waking up every morning after staying up till like 3 or 4 a.m. Pretty much the first hour of the day is pretty rough.
The worst part of the trip has been that I am not a morning person, and for instance, we had to get up at like 5 a.m. to get here, and I don't really see 5 a.m. ever.
No, I'm glad we came here. It's really cool doing a lot of work for this church. They're a great church, great pastor, great youth pastor. The kids I met last night from here, they seemed pretty okay. They were good. They seemed founded in faith and love the Lord. I'm excited to go later and talk to Reggae, maybe see how he's doing, maybe minister to him a little bit.
So I would say that teamwork this week has been really great. Everybody's been working together. There hasn't even really been anything that's gone wrong. Everybody has stayed on good terms, gotten a lot done, working hard. There's been nobody like slacking or not doing their part, and everybody's just been working together, and I would say growing a lot closer through this.
Whatever you do all for the glory of God, like it says in Corinthians. But yeah, that's just a good thing to take to heart and use. Hold on. And you just use every day that you can. It's one of the verses I try to follow a lot. It's hard, but once you do it, it's really good. Awesome.
All right, so some of the things I worked on was helping the kids find tools, helping them dig brick, helping friends to be able to mount boards where they needed to be.
basically make good, healthy meals, which I will tell you, like, I've eaten more well-rounded meals in the last like 5 days than we do at home. Because at home it's like mac and cheese. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, hanging out with these guys though, that's a different story. They're kind of rowdy and just loud, like Jake and Tyler and Ben. All they do is talk all night till like 4:30 a.m. and then they complain about being tired because you kept us up all night, Tyler. It's just they're a mess. They need to go to bed at like 9 tonight and then wake up at like 12 tomorrow. They need that.
Anyways, but I want to say I'm very grateful. Last night I talked with two girls for a couple hours. It was so much fun, and I love seeing Coda and Callie like laugh so hard. I've never seen them like so engaged in conversations. And yeah, we were wondering also, when did we start eating meat? Callie thinks it's after the ark, that she thinks we never ate meat before the ark or the flood, and we think Jonah ate some meat, some chicken. So yeah, there you go. Have a great day.
Okay, so something I've learned on this trip is that, so because I've been making meals a lot, it's kind of like a background job. Like, I really haven't done any of the main projects, but like to fuel the workers is probably just as important as the work that they're doing. And so I think a lot of times we think like I need to be like the main person doing something or on the front line, but it's just as important to serve behind the scenes as it is out front. Theme of the week, like the will of God keeps coming up, so like God's will has been kind of an overarching theme of the week. And then our theme song would be the goodness of God, because I think we've probably sang it like 25 times within the last several days between all of our hospital visits and our group stuff or whatever. And it's just such a good song to reflect on the goodness of God and bringing us here and allowing us to serve and strengthening relationships. So
I would say if you ever get a chance to go on another work trip like this, to do it and to get off work and he's gonna crash.
Any messages for anybody back at home, maybe watching this?
Maybe suck it up and try to get off work. That was fun.
Last work on was laying the pavers. I did that for pretty much 2 full days. And then still laying pavers, but building the benches, helping with the fireplace, and then helped build some of the swings and did a lot of the dirt and digging and groundwork too. So pretty much I helped a little with everything. And then I also did a couple of the electrical work too.
So what was your favorite? What was your favorite out of all the projects? What was your favorite?
Probably either building the benches, because that was pretty fun and we got it done in one day, so it was nice to see it done, or the electrical work, putting in outlets and running the wires and stuff. That was pretty fun.
My main focus was this pergola, and actually my favorite part of this project was coming down here, meeting Greg at the church here. This is the first year we've attended Genesis Church. We're actually from Hannah City, so it's kind of neat to be able to have that connection. That was what I liked best. I like that because that pulled that in.
How do you feel like the team as a whole, the kids, how do you feel like they did?
It was fun to observe. I mean, they all worked together. They weren't complaining or just too hot, I'm too tired. It was like everyone banded together and they could see the success each day as we made progress.
Now, tell me, what's the hardest thing about the electrical work?
The hardest thing about the electrical work.
Is it like matching the colors? Really isn't nothing hard about electrical work, is there?
Well, not that I've been doing.
Yeah, it's been pretty easy.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty
It's been
easy.
great.
How's that make you feel, Riley?
Great, fantastic. I love it.
Talk about working with some of the electrical crew.
Hey, these kids are great. They actually asked really good questions. And questions like they were actually thinking it through. And I think they learned a skill. And I think it was fun to work with them and to teach them a little bit about electricity.
And I think that they just like working with Riley because it's a cakewalk.
That's right.
Compared to everything else.
I'm easy on
so
it.
that's why they flocked over to his
That's right.
stuff.
Yep.
Because electrical work.
You just got to match the colors and twist the wires together.
That's right.
There ain't nothing.
That's my secret to why I do this.
There ain't nothing.
my favorite part was like learning the electrical work and running the wires and putting in the pipes for the ground and putting in the outlets for the lights.
On your back.
You know what? I actually would say that the laziest kids gravitated toward Riley. And they'd ask him questions to slow him down because they didn't want to work as fast.
That's right. I didn't catch on quick enough. For
Yeah,
that either.
he's not smart enough to think of that.
It was the end of the week before.
I know how it works.
Takes one to know one.
Takes one to know one.
Wait, where's Riley?
So Bree, tell me, what'd you do this week?
I did a lot of stuff, but the main part was the electrical stuff.
And what draws you to the electrical work?
Well, I got called over to come help, and it turned out to be really fun and something new. And it was, yeah.
Okay.
There's no colors to even. No, this takes a license. Yeah, just don't plug it in wrong.
Yeah. Are you sure I can do this?
I'm gonna watch.
Is there a trick? Anything I gotta know? Like, do I try to like get these in first, or?
Well, first, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Do we need any lube?
The lazy crew. I mean the electrical crew.
First, we need to sit down now to see. I've already started this process. I think we should probably take a break.
Okay. Should I Google this?
We will at lunch.
Okay.
So we'll do this at lunch. We'll take a break.
Well, then,
so I
like,
showed it to
but
you.
the problem is there's this cap, and then when I plug it in, now what do I do with this cap?
Exactly.
I can't get it to
Well,
seal
see,
around it.
That's what we'll talk about after lunch.
Okay.
But that's till that. But there's also a break in there too that we have to get through. So, after we get through lunch,
Is there a
and then
40-odd
break,
views I need to,
break.
work through there?
Yeah. All right. It's all right.
So, like, what's the hardest part of electrical work?
Well, I'm really bad at using like measuring all the pipes out. It's really hard because one wrong move and you have to redo it all.
Okay,
which we
so
had
the
to do.
hardest thing about electrical work is just the measuring and
Yeah,
doing the math.
it's like, yeah.
So it's all mental. Not a lot of physical work, just more mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably why you were drawn to it. Yeah. Gotcha. So was it hard to like match the colors of the wires? Like the green wires and the green wire together and like the white wire?
See, I'm colorblind, so it was like.
So that was
it
challenging
really,
for
really
you.
hard. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, do you feel like you accomplished something with electrical work, or do you feel like you more just were playing around and having a good time?
Oh no, we definitely accomplished something. We counted down from 3, flipped the light switch, and it all worked, which was
You know
really
what?
rewarding.
That sounds really tough.
You guys are really making it sound.
We got coffee at Foam Coffee. Brianna, what did you get? I got ice, vanilla, and coconut. Okay. I got vanilla. Oh wait, no. I got honey and cinnamon. Coconut. What did you get? Brown sugar, cinnamon, something. Oh, wait, is it espresso? Yes. Well, that sounds good. This is the best meal. What did you get? You got ice, milk, and I got it, right? What do you think? I tried Coke, so it's great. Lauren, what did you get? Oh wait, no, she didn't get anything. Lame. Mr. Garrett, what did you get? I got an apple flavor China food. Let's try. Okay, it sounds good. Sounds good. And then, what did you get? Got sea salt and honey. Okay. Let's see you do that, Coke. Okay.
So also there's this thing and it's how to date better, so I might get one for Jimmy. We'll see.
Hey Mia, what are you doing? Playing golf. Oh, I'm gonna miss. Line it up. Oh yes.
This might not be the most efficient way to get sand off the patio, but it's pretty entertaining.
So I feel like, so before this trip, I don't think I'd really ever talked to Amy. I told her I knew Brooke, I knew Katie a little bit, and then Holly and I have known each other for a long time. But so as far as like the kitchen behind the scenes and Mallory, I didn't know at all. So that's been really great for me just to get to know those moms better and to work together as a team, and we all have different strengths and everybody just kind of pitches in. But also, I've seen with the kids, just sometimes it's easy at youth group or wherever to kind of just talk to the same people all the time. And I have just seen so much growth in all of those kids. They're just a big group. They are serving together. They're each time they may be working with different people. So I feel like it's really gelled that group of people really well together. Also, I realized I talk a lot with my hands.
Yeah, I guess if I could sum up the trip in one word, would have to be the sermon, that each of us walk away with that word, and that we are changed this year to go after that word that God presents to each one of us.